Christmas time here in New York. The sleigh bells are jingling, the lights are all up, and people are out and about in force shopping for their Christmas gifts for the holidays. I'm here at the Christmas market in Columbus Circle, just picking up a few gifts, and then I'm gonna head on in out of the cold. All right. Whew. So if you're looking for a gift for a comics lover in your life, let me offer a suggestion. This is Batman Smells Robin Laid an Egg, the latest big 80-page holiday special from DC Comics, and it's out right now in stores everywhere. I penciled, inked, and colored the story in this book that I'm so proud of, so I figured I'd show a little behind the scenes on how it came to be. Let's get to it. What is up, guys? Andrew here, and welcome to Comic Booker, all things comics from a creator. Another year, another awesome DC project, and I'm really proud to be part of the holiday special again this year. Last year, I was able to do this giant action-packed story called It's a Bunkerful Life with Josh Trujillo, and I was so satisfied and happy with how that came about. And this year, I actually got approached to do this in April by editor Michael McCalister, and the script he sent me is by this up-and-coming Milestone Initiative writer, Zipporah Smith, who wrote such a wonderful, calm, and chill story that reminded me a lot of O. Henry's The Gift of the Magi. The story stars classic DC character Vixen, who I first encountered in Grant Morrison's Animal Man. Vixen is a really unique superhero who has a day job as a fashion model and designer. Growing up in the fictional nation of Zambesi, Mary McCabe inherited a family heirloom called the Tantu Totem, which allows her to use the powers of animals. She used that power to fight crime all over the world, having all sorts of crazy adventures with the Suicide Squad and the Justice League. The story starts with her getting a visit from the one and only Ben Turner, Ron's tiger, and it looks like this Christmas might be an opportunity for them to get even closer. But the story presents a challenge for Mary because she has to figure out what the perfect gift might be for him. And the journey takes us through this whole week of her life where she's done really well for herself, and we get a really good look at Mary's character and just what happens to Vixen when she's not in like a giant crisis crossover, a big Suicide Squad explosion, or a Justice League level conflict. Alright, so this is my sketchbook that I take with me wherever I go. It's my daily sketchbook, and this is the one where I actually think. So it's very rough. There's like a lot of stuff in here. Some bunker sketches, some various things. But a little bit into the year, here are the initial thumbnails I created when I first got the script. So this is page 1, and this is me just sort of reading the script and visualizing how everything goes. This is page 2. You can see how notational all the drawings are. 3, 4, 5, 6. And you know, it's really just like visualizing in general what the direction of the script, not so much composing the sizes of things, but just figuring out what shots I need, as if I were imagining like a film going through my head. And then this is that whole sequence, the climactic sequence, where I do a little bit of comic book trickery. But like here, it just looks really rough and really quick and notational. And that's really by design, because if I don't like anything, I would just erase in. And you can kind of see erase marks here or there because it has to be quick and it has to explain it. Here's one of my first sketches of her. I think this is like the J.G. Jones costume that I looked at. I had this idea for her hair, which sort of mutated into the current, more fashiony hairstyle. There's the date that I worked on it. And then this is that scene, the big party scene where there's Bruce Wayne. This was gonna be my first time ever officially drawing Bruce Wayne, so I wanted to like figure out the moment. I don't think there's anything else here. Yeah, that's it for this. After this, I kind of just like switched to digital using this as reference. So here are my initial thumbnails / pencils. This is what it looks like when I sent it to my editor. I've ghosted in the basic lettering flow of things just so I know I've designed a lot of space into the comic panel so that the dialogue fits really well. And you can see I'm doing it on comic artboard with this whole template here. I'm gonna have a video about this template coming up right next, so wait for that. Here are what some of the other pages look like. Some of it is very, very rough. As you can see, what's important is just getting the story across and a general sense of the shots. I'm gonna go in later on and refine the anatomy. It gets the job done. Same with this, and you'll see things at various levels of finish as I figure out what really needs detail. This, for example, is a big splash page with a lot of detail about environment and stuff, so I figured it needed a little bit more love. Some of the other stuff, which is a little more expressionistic, like this is just her, few police officers, and the supervillain being carted off, so I don't think it needed that much rendering to be understood. And yeah, basically the thumbs as I sent it over to my editor. After the thumbs got approved, we moved on to the inking stage, and this is where I really started to refine a lot of the anatomy, the line work, the drawing. I just made sure that the acting was on point, you know, all the little details are in. And you'll notice that the way I'm inking this, I'm doing a lot of clear line stuff, so it's very clean. There's not a lot of spot blacks. Hopefully this is the kind of color that I could hand off to a different colorist and they'd be able to do stuff. Obviously I'm coloring this myself, so I already have an idea of how to do it, but my focus was really to make sure the line weights were reading really well. And for that, I used Clip Studio Paint, which is a really wonderful program. I've been really training myself to use it because this is what people like Jorge Jimenez, Marco Quequeto, and a bunch of other people who do digital work in comics, this is the program that they use. And the reason I've really gotten on well with Clip Studio Paint recently is because apart from them having like a really amazing brush engine, they recently put out this update where they have this simple mode here, which you can just click, and then it looks like Procreate basically. It strips back the UI, the interface of all of those little menus that I never super use unless it's like an in-depth thing. And it allows me to work frictionlessly on the drawing. I just have the layers here, I have the brush here on the side, and I'm able to just modulate what I'm doing. And honestly, all I really did was use that G pen. That's all I needed for this page. Really happy with how the line work came out. And then I sent it over to the editor, and once that was approved, I did my color pass in Procreate. These are the first pass of colors that I sent over to the editor, and you'll notice that it's actually very different from what finally got printed. This first pass, you can see that the colors are like, the whole color scheme is radically different. I added a background in the last one, and it's just a lot more polished in the final. During this initial pass, I really was working up to the deadline, and I was having a lot of medical issues. During that period, I had these mysterious headaches that were like super painful. It was really a struggle to get through this whole coloring stage, but I did my best and just kind of like made sure I hit the deadline, which I feel like is really one of the most important things, and just did like things to the best quality that I could do at the time. And you know, this page went through a radical change. You can also see it here. There's just a calming down of the colors that happened as we went to the final. And I'm really, really grateful to my editor for calling it out when I sent it in. He just said, you know, I feel like it just needs a little more time in the oven. He was telling me like, you know, it just didn't feel like it was there yet. And so he gave me a little extra time, and then we sort of put it in for the final pass of colors. And here's sort of what the final pass of colors looked like. I just put my placeholder dialogue over it just to see how well it would read. I'm a really big fan of like classic EC artists like Alfredo Alcala, the House of Mystery artists and stuff like that, where the artist would draw on the title into the board. So I just wanted to do that with this. You can see now the colors are just a lot more polished. Everything just feels a lot more clean, and I'm really happy with the finish on this. Obviously the letters here are still rough, but Josh Reed comes in with a really excellent technique and just makes sure everything looks really professional. So you'll see in the final pages, it's just so much better. Like, here is what this page looks like lettered by Josh. I really love this Christmassy font that he used, and I'm also super happy with how he handled all the balloons because it's very clean, it reads really well, and that's really what you want in lettering, you know, you want it to just be clear. I'm so happy I got to draw Vixen and all of these cool other DC characters, especially Bruce Wayne, especially Bruce, especially Ben Turner. I even got to draw Donna Troy, you know, doing her camera thing because she loves taking photos, so it was great. So this is just one of 8 amazing stories that is in this book. There's a really awesome Green Lantern story written by Dorado Quick with art by M.L. Sanapo and colors by Arif Prianto. It's got Green Lantern John Stewart on a mission to help someone who may or may not be Santa Claus and save Christmas. There's also a really cool Dr. Midnight story called Silent Night. It's written by James Reed with art by Francesco Francavilla. It's a wonderful little slice of comic storytelling because it's mostly silent. It's a period piece set in the 1940s where Dr. Midnight deals with a burglar and finds out that the burglar actually has a real backstory and is a real person, and all the drama that ensues from that. It's a nice little heartfelt story and one of my favorites also from this book. But by far my favorite story in this book is the last story, Oh Glowy Night, a Superman story written by Calvin Kasulke and drawn by my friend Anthony Marquez, who has wanted to draw Superman for a while. We tabled with each other in Fanfare NYC a couple of years ago, and I remember him telling me that. So it makes it extra special to see him tackling this character that means so much to him. And Anthony's art is brilliant as always. I really love how it combines a little bit of Darwin Cook, a little bit of Bruce Timm, and a little bit of Jack Kirby to his own unique spin on it. And it feels a little bit like a story out of the Superman animated series in the 90s. Here are all 3 variant covers you can pick up. The main one is by Riley Rossimo, which is a fun little Poison Ivy Batman cover. This cover is a wonderful Superman cover by artist Santa Fung. And by far my favorite cover is this creepy Joker Deadman cover by Lee Bermejo, with his distinctive painterly graphite-y style that never fails to impress and feel like super ultra realistic. The book retails for about $10 and is 80 pages of a super satisfying comics grab bag. So check it out if you're in comic stores and maybe pick it up for a few loved ones or a comic lover in your life. That's it for this video. I wish you a joyful holiday season with plenty of rest, plenty of time with your loved ones. I hope you treat yourself a little and just enjoy and chill as the year winds to a close. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.